Hey Joe fans, I'm John Setzler. Welcome back to the Kamado Joe Cooking Channel. Today I'm going to show you two things. I'm going to show you an interesting way to use some leftovers, and I'm going to show you the new Kamado Joe cast iron Dutch oven. And today, at the request of Bob Carter, who is in sales for Kamado Joe, we are going to make a Brunswick stew. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is fire up the Kamado Joe Classic. I've got some fresh charcoal in here, and I've got one fire starter cube in a little well down here in the middle. I'm going to light that fire starter up, and we're going to let this grill burn for about 10 minutes or so with the lid open. Now that we have our fire going, I'm going to set my divide and conquer flexible cooking rack in place right in the middle, and I've got the heat deflectors on the lower segment. And in this cook, I'm going to set my accessory rack up on top. I'm going to close the lid here on the Joe, and we're going to adjust the vents so we can run this guy at about 275. I'm going to close the lower vent about halfway or so, and I'm going to move the slider all the way closed, and I'm going to leave the daisy wheel fully open. And we're just going to watch this. If the temperature needs to be brought up, I'll open the slider a little bit, or if I need to stall it down a little bit, we'll close the daisy wheel. Okay folks, I think this might be the first time I've shown you the Kamado Joe cast iron Dutch oven. This thing's really nice. It's really big. I think it's about 6 quarts, 5 or 6 quarts. It looks a little bigger than the average 5 quart, but it's really heavy duty. It's got a big, heavy, thick lid on it, and a handle that you can grab. And the Dutch oven is flat across the bottom. It's really nice. I've just seasoned this one today. I rubbed this guy down with a coat of peanut oil and seasoned it in my oven at 350 for an hour. With that, we're going to get started putting our stew together. And this is where your leftovers come in. We are going to start out with 1 pound of pulled pork barbecue, and I've also got 1 pound of pulled chicken. We're going to follow that up with 1 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes, 1 14-ounce can of chicken broth, and we're going to use 1 entire 18-ounce bottle of whatever your preference in barbecue sauces is. And I particularly like the Kansas City Masterpiece original barbecue sauce. This is really good, so we're going to dump in an entire bottle of that. Our next ingredient is 1 whole chopped onion. I have 3 medium-sized red potatoes that I have cubed up and left the skin on. We're going to follow that with 1 12-ounce bag of frozen cut okra, 1 12-ounce bag of frozen baby lima beans, and then 1 12-ounce bag of frozen whole kernel corn. And on top of that, we're going to add 1/4 cup of brown sugar. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of the Kamado Joe smoky paprika seasoning to this, and about 1 teaspoon of salt. And finally, we're just going to mix all of that up and get all of our meat broken up and get this all mixed in. I'm going to put the lid back on it and go find Ashni and see if she knows what to do with this.
Let's put that bad boy on the grill.
That's right, we're going to put this bad boy on the grill. So I'm going to open up the lid on the Joe. We're going to set our Dutch oven right on top of the accessory rack, and we're going to close the lid. And we're going to let this guy simmer on here for several hours. I'm going to come back and look at it after about an hour. Once we get it up to a simmer, we're going to want to stir it up again, so we'll be back. Okay guys, we've been cruising along here about an hour and 15 minutes at around 275 degrees. We're going to pull the lid off of this. Oh man, look at that. I'm going to give this a stir. Oh geez, that smells good. Old Bob Carter knows what he's talking about when he says he likes Brunswick stew. So I'm going to put the lid back on this, and I think we're going to let it simmer for about another hour. Okay folks, I let that simmer for another hour, and then I brought it inside and let it cool off for a few minutes, and I have served up a bowl of this, and I just wish once again you could smell this. It really smells outstanding. So let's kind of get a feel for how this tastes. Wow, that really is outstanding. It's fantastic. The barbecue sauce is coming through there. It's got that nice sweetness from the barbecue sauce, and it also has the smokiness that we've brought in there from the pulled pork and the pulled chicken that we added to this, and with the smoky paprika rub that we put in there and everything, this has a beautiful flavor. Man, this has got to be one of the heartiest cold weather type stews I've ever had, and I'd like to thank Bob Carter for suggesting that I do this, because this is going to become a staple around here. Give this a try. Let me know what you think. Leave us a comment on the video. Join us on Facebook, facebook.com/KamadoJoe, and follow us on Twitter @KamadoJoe. Until next time, this is John Setzler with Kamado Joe Cooking Channel.